I still don't see it though.
We live. You go, Mike. You're on mute.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in tonight for this special presentation. Thank you to my Smith Chapel family and friends and visitors, everyone who's logged on. I'm going to ask you to do me a quick favor, and I'm going to ask if you will hit that share button that's at the bottom of your screen so that this presentation can be shared with everyone, your family and friends included. As a matter of fact, if you're from the church family, I'm going to ask that you say hello in the chat section so that I can acknowledge you and thank you for being on tonight. So if you're here, I see about 8 people on right now. If we could share this and get our numbers up, and if you'll say hello to me so I can shout you out and thank you for joining us tonight. I'll give us about a minute or so to see if we can get some more numbers on, and then we'll go ahead and get started with our special presentation. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in. All right, as you're coming on, if you'll say hello, tell us where you're from so we can acknowledge you, and thank you for being on tonight. I'll give us about 30 more seconds, and we're going to go ahead and officially start tonight's presentation. All right, about 10 more seconds and we're going to get started. Again, if you will tell me if you're on tonight so we can acknowledge you. Not going to call you out or do anything weird or embarrassing. Just wanted to acknowledge you and thank you for being on tonight. All right. All right, again, good evening and thank you for tuning in to this special financial presentation. This event is called the 7 Money Milestones, specifically how money works. And so how it will go tonight, the format will be that I, your host, Michael Woods, will ask our guest facilitators some questions about money. And they are licensed and skilled in this area. And so they're going to share some tidbits that will help you and I increase and grow financially. During this event tonight, we're going to be giving away some gifts. I know everybody likes free things, so you'll be getting some free gifts. One of the gifts you'll be receiving, 3 people will be receiving, not everybody. 3 people will receive this special book titled How Money Works. Okay, we'll have a raffle at the end of this presentation. and 3 people will receive this special book that will give you some killer knowledge on how you can increase yourself financially. Also, there will be a PDF chapter of this book giving away called The Rule of 72. And as we go along tonight, you will learn what that rule is and how to apply it to your lives. And finally, there will be a complimentary financial strategy session given to anyone who's on the live who wants an analysis of your situation by the How Many Works facilitators tonight. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I know some of you may have had a long day and you're stretching it, you're pushing yourself to get on tonight to learn. And we really, really, really appreciate you being on tonight. If I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet, I'm going to tell you my name again is Michael Woods. I am the proud pastor of Smith Chapel Free Will Baptist Church in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where I pastor some of the grandest people you will ever meet and come across. I've been there for a little over a year now, and they have treated me extremely well. So if you're in the Fayetteville area and you're looking for a church home that's relevant and exciting and there for you through the highs and lows of life, feel free to stop by Smith Chapel Free Will Baptist Church, 519 Boundary Lane in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I thought that it would be a good idea to do this type of session tonight because I believe that it will be one that will empower the African-American community and the church community as a whole. Believe it or not, the Bible does have some things to say about money. It talks about our financial strategies, talks about how we invest, how there should be a return on our investment. And I just believe overall that as a people, as an African-American people, we can all do better so we can help each other collectively. In the book of Luke, chapter number 14, starting at verse number 28, here is what the scripture says. Luke chapter number 14, starting at verse number 28. It says, "For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him, saying, 'This man began to build and was not able to finish.'" Proverbs 13 and 22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." And I alluded to, one more time. Proverbs 13 and 22, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." And we've alluded to the fact earlier that we are called to be good stewards. And as I'm going to the church's Facebook page, thank you so much for logging on tonight. Thank you, Sister Belinda. It's good to see you. Good evening to Sister McLean, Sister Sharon Payne. Thank you for being on. Sister Deborah Hall, it is so good to see you. And Sister Denise Fontenay. I know there's some more of you on there. You can say hello to us. We thank you for tuning in tonight. Hope you are blessed by the information that you will receive. And so again, as I was saying that God wants us to be good stewards of whatever we have because he does not just want us. He does not just want us to have money, of course, for the sake of having money, but the money that we receive is to help others. And so that's why those scriptures, the last one specifically that I mentioned, is crucial. I don't know one single parent who doesn't want his child to start off better than he or she was able to do when they started life. So those are my opening thoughts for tonight. Again, thank you for being on. We have some awesome teachers tonight. My blood brother, righteous.allah, and his colleague, Anthony Dennis. I'm going to give them a few moments to introduce themselves and talk about what they do. It's in your hands, gentlemen.
Okay, how you doing? My name is righteous.allah. I'm a financial literacy educator with Wealth Wave. And what I pretty much do is I just teach people how money works and help them through the 7 money milestones.
Well, keeping it simple as he so eloquently does. But again, my name is Anthony Dennis, here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and me and Righteous are both with Wealth Wave, and he's already said what we do. We just help families walk through the 7 money milestones to help them get from point A to point B in their financial future.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on tonight and give us that great old information. As we start tonight, there's a book that my brother gave me and I talked about this book a little bit already, and the fact that it will be wrapped off at the end. 3 people will get this book titled "How Money Works," and tells us to stop being a sucker. Now, when I looked at the title of the book and the last part that says "stop being a sucker," I was like, well, are they calling me a sucker because maybe I don't know everything I need to know about money? And so that title kind of struck me. So, gentlemen, if one of you could talk about why you think the author chose to title this book "How Money Works: Stop Being a Sucker."
Well, I'll take this, Anthony. Well, a sucker is a gullible, easy to deceive person. Oftentimes, the sucker is ignorant to the things they fall victim to. Have you ever gone to a bank or a financial institution and you notice that they have a bowl of suckers? Well, they more than likely giving you them suckers in order to be generous. But we look at it as symbolism of the sucker cycle. Now, the lack of financial literacy traps a person or people in the sucker cycle often for life. The sucker gets a paycheck. And instead of them putting the money to work for them, what they do is they go and buy frivolous things, shoes, things that they really don't need. So pretty much what they're doing is they are handing the money back to someone else that then builds wealth with the sucker's money.
Good stuff. All right, can you all share with us a little more in depthly exactly what you all do for those who are listening tonight?
You want depth. What I come to realize when we talk about what we do, keeping it simple is the best way, Pastor Ward. So I'm gonna, if you indulge me a little bit more, keep it simple. What we do is we help families plan, protect, and prepare to build wealth for their family. And we're able to do this, as you mentioned quite a few times at this point. We're able to do this because we walk our clients through that process, set up by our firm known as the 7 Money Milestones.
Great segue into our next question. So you just mentioned 7 Money Milestones. It sounds like a building block or a path to some progressive thing that we need to do. Can you guys mention to us what the 7 Money Milestones are?
Well, the 7 Money Milestones is a roadmap to financial security and also independence. We are guides and we help people through the financial journey. We know there's going to be some twists, turns, and setbacks. So me and Anthony are just here to help. Now, the objective of the book and also our mission, the How Money Works book, is to help people with understanding key concepts to give a solid financial education. Now, the 7 Money Milestones goes as such: financial literacy, proper protection, emergency funds, debt management, cash flow, wealth building, and wealth protection. Me and Anthony also have had many conversations, and we have agreed that they should have added another milestones in which Anthony called 1.5. Anthony, you want to tell them about 1.5?
Yes, 1.5. It's probably, out of all the milestones, probably one of my favorite because I think it's the foundation to going through the milestones. I call it the budget. For some people don't like the B word, so they call it savings plan. However you want to mention makes you feel better, but I call it the budget. I think of it like this. When you're building a house, a lot of people think the very first thing you do when you're building a house is build a foundation. Okay. And I say that's not true. The first thing that's done before a house is built is they get with the architect and they come up with the plans to build the house. Then you go into the foundation once everything's been laid out. That's what a budget is doing when working a family through these 7 money milestones. You got to find out what's going on with your money so we can start walking you through protecting the family and doing greater things financially for your family.
Sounds good. Now, I think the first milestone you all mentioned was financial literacy. And I think many of us could agree and attest to the fact that when we were in grade school, this is not something that we learned a whole lot about. Right. And it's probably something that should have been taught before we got out into the world. So we had to learn, some of us financial literacy, we had to learn the hard way or through experiences. So tell us why you all think that financial literacy is important.
Well, you know what, Pastor Woods, let's define what financial literacy is before we start going a little further into it, right? Okay. One, financial literacy is understanding how money is earned, spent, saved, managed, and invested. All right. When this is understood, and most importantly, when it's applied, people can do amazing things with wealth. as you was alluding to earlier, some of the Bible verses. One of them is, correct me, I get the verse wrong, but it's the love of money is the root of evil.
Yes.
Right. When I ask people to love money,
Right.
we actually be good stewards and manage it the right way,
Right.
so you can do the things that God has asked for you to do for yourself and for others. Right. And if we come to understand, what I've come to learn is the lack of financial literacy is the complete opposite of everything. So now we got debt, poverty, paycheck to paycheck, working, not knowing where that money is going, that kind of lifestyle, because you don't understand how to manage your money. We see that people know how to spend money, they know how to make money, no matter how they make the money. But not many of them understand the importance of saving it, managing it, investing it. And that's really what separates the haves and the have-nots. One of my favorite authors, Dennis Kimbrough, he always says, and it's a quote that I love just sharing: prosperity begins in the mind, and then it ends in the purse.
That's good.
That's why financial literacy is so important. You have to understand how money works, so the money will work for you.
Yes.
And we can leave that inheritance.
Good stuff. Why do you feel this book can help people? What is it about this particular book that you think will help people?
Well, financial illiteracy is the #1 economic crisis in the world. Like Anthony said earlier, financial literacy is knowing how money works, and it means understanding how to earn, spend, save, manage, and invest your money. Having a strong understanding of financial literacy will allow you to make better decisions, hopefully improve your day-to-day life and also your life during retirement.
Okay. So moving on to the next milestone, which is proper protection. Can you talk to us about what it is and why this should be the milestone you endeavor upon after reading this book, How Money Works?
Okay, it was once said the protection of a man's person is more sacred than the protection of property. We know that self-preservation is the key to life, but here's the thing. You might not be able to fully protect yourself from illness and accidents, but you can protect your income and also your wealth. Ironically, the protection of your financial assets is called life insurance.
Okay. So you mentioned insurance. Are there multiple types of insurances, and what are they?
Yeah, there are actually two main ones.
Okay.
The first one is term, and the second one is whole life, and that has its own many forms in itself. But let's keep it in simple terms. So we have term, and then we have whole life. Think of term like renting an apartment. You rent an apartment, you got a lease for about a year. Well, term insurances come in a variety of years, so anywhere from 5 to 30. And what you're doing is you are pretty much renting life insurance until that lease is up. Now, all life insurance is based on how they make a decision to approve you or to cover you. It is based on health, age, all that good stuff. So think about it, as you get older, it's going to cost a little more to take care of you because you're not getting healthier.
Right.
So with term insurance, you're taking care of it. They're taking care of you from 5 to 30 years, and when that term is up, it costs a little more to continue. With whole life, you're paying one premium, and it's like that for the whole life.
Gotcha.
Now, let me ask something. Why the second milestone? Because with the right insurance product, if it's properly structured, it can be used to help you in your old age and retirement. And it also can bring your family a peace of mind by leaving behind a legacy to help them to cope financially if something was to happen to you. Now, some people already have life insurance, but I actually have a few questions for them. When was the last time you had a review? Do you have enough life insurance? And do you know how much you're supposed to have? Now, the rule of thumb, you should have 10 times your annual family income. That means that if you make $50,000 a year, you should have $500K in life insurance.
Wow. Okay. Now, and I know this is I know we don't have a lot of time to go in depth in it, but I do know that this is something that's very important, particularly within our community, because I know all of us have seen, God forbid, people pass away, and you see people on Facebook and different avenues starting GoFundMe accounts because people didn't have the proper type of insurance and the proper protection they need. And so I think this is our key vital information that we need to be reminded of. And if you're out there and you don't have that type of proper protection. I'm sure after this is over, our guest facilitators tonight can help lead you in the right direction when it comes to that.
Yes, sir.
Emergency fund. We've heard that term tossed around a lot. And I'm sure that all of us at some point have needed an emergency fund. Some of us in our earlier years did not plan so well. And so something could happen with your car and you didn't have the money that you needed. So let's talk about that. How much should a person save and why?
Well, even the people that is the best at budgeting will eventually face an unexpected financial blow. Now, the rule of thumb is to put away a little money every month until you have about 3 to 6 months worth of income saved. Now, here's the thing. People that practice that particular concept during COVID, when COVID happened last year, in which none of us knew that it was going to happen, the people that practice that concept or these concepts actually was able to ride the wave of COVID. The people that didn't, they was the ones that actually needed the stimulus checks and also the unemployment checks. Now, we're here now, so there's no judgment. So just start by making your goal of 2 weeks of your pay in your bank account, and then a month and so on.
Okay. Are there different types of emergency funds, and what are they?
Well, I'm a student of Dave Ramsey's program, Financial Peace University, and and there are he talks on 2 types of emergency funds, and I kind of adapted that with my clients. Now, how we approach them really just depends on what their goals are and where they're trying to go. So the first one is a beginner emergency fund. Really, we're just trying to get $1,000 into the account as quickly as possible. Statistics show, less than about 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 in the bank right now. So they had an emergency that was up to $1,000, they'll be in trouble.
Wow.
All right. And so we start with that 1,000 just to get something in there, because 4 tires can be anywhere between $400 to $500.
My God.
Depending on what your deductible is, car accident, all that good stuff. So that's the first one. The second one is Righteous already spoke about, which is the fully funded emergency fund. And that one we're going for 3 to 6 months. As I said before, we transition between the two, or how we start on one over the other. Truly just depends on what their goals and what their dreams are financially, and that's how we work it. But generally, we want to go the goal is 3 to 6 months. The goal is 3 to 6 months.
Gotcha. 3 to 6 months. Okay. One of the things that I think most of us have is something called debt. It's a thing that kind of drives our lives. We could end up in some pretty horrible situations because of that. If you are in my age bracket, they sold you the dream of going to college, getting these wonderful student loans, and you're going to have this grand job, and the amount of loans you've taken out won't matter because you're going to be making so much money that you can pay it all back. And so debt has become the #1 crippler of wealth and our ability to manage money well. So how do you guys deal with clients with debt management?
Well, for many, debt is the greatest obstacle to a solid financial future and becoming financially independent. Now, debt is the sweeping crisis of this particular society because of instant gratification. Like, for example, like during COVID, many people have pretty much made Amazon rich, by buying stuff on Amazon, which, they're trapped in that sucker cycle. So we're trying to get them out of that sucker cycle. Now, the single most debts are student loan and credit card debt. Yes. Now, 80% of Americans are in debt from credit cards, and 68% are in debt from student loans, and most aren't even making a payment. We have resources to help people with student loans, lowering that debt and also lowering monthly payments. Also, I wanted to add, if many people go on me and Anthony's page, they will see that we actually have an event that is coming up that is dealing with student loan debt on February the 18th. So if you reach out to us, we will be able to get you plugged into that event.
Okay. All right. And what about debt management?
I'll jump in on this one, Richard. Debt management. Let me start by saying I do not like that. I'm not a fan of it at all. I believe debt is like financial bondage.
Mm.
All right. And debt is people who have debt is it's like a trap. It's a trap for people, and they stumble into it by accident with good intentions, but because they don't have really understanding the control of their currency, it's really hard to get out of. It's really hard to break away from it. So when applying debt and we're going after debt, it just really, once again, it kind of depends on their goals and what they want to do financially. But it's people attack debt multiple ways. You hear things like the debt snowball, debt avalanche, interest rate, pay off the highest one first. My personal favorite one is a debt snowball. What I learned is I believe that people like to get quick wins, and knocking off the smallest one, put a little extra to it. As that one's paid off, you take that and roll it into the next one. I like to apply that one with a lot of my clients. And now I do also know a lot of people like to leverage debt. You get a lot of investors, they get loans or they'll borrow, leverage that to build like for real estate and things of that nature, which I don't like that, but I understand the power of leveraging it. My only concern, my only caution to those who are thinking about that is make sure you have a solid understanding of your own finances and understanding how to manage finances, because you can get caught up and you get in trouble real quick. I know a lot of people who got a credit card with the intentions of building their credit because they don't understand how to manage the credit card. They went from having, and they're just spending money. They're going to give you more money. A lot of people forget that a credit card is it's a loan. It's not free money. But you'll start off with like $300-400, and next thing you know, you $1,000 to $2,000 you have on that credit card. You just think it's free money. You're spending. Right. Now you're in debt. And you have no way to pay it back.
Right.
The debt comes due every time. You gotta have good stewards with our money. We gotta know what we're doing and managing our finances.
Right. That's very good. I know, and you're exactly right, because I noticed that whenever I paid off a particular credit card, I was always getting this major increase in the amount that they would give me. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to stop messing with credit cards altogether. And that's one area that I've been able to just wipe away debt from, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you all again for tuning in to this special financial presentation titled How Money Works. I think we have Kiala Collins, who has now joined us. Kimberly Singleton, thank you for being on. Derek Riley, thank you for tuning in tonight. My cousin Monte Moss, my cousin Timothy Allen, thank you for being on. We really appreciate you all tuning in to learn more about how money works. We have our guest facilitators tonight, my brother righteous.allah and his colleague Anthony Davis. Thank you, two gentlemen, for being on. They're giving us some critical information in this area. Tonight, as I said at the beginning of the presentation, we're going to give away some gifts. One of the first gifts that will be given away is a book titled How Money Works. 3 people will receive this complimentary book. At the end of the presentation, I will tell you to type in the chat section any number between 1 and 100. And the 3 people who get closest to those numbers will receive this book. It's an easy read. I've read the book. It will bless your life. Everyone will also receive a PDF of one of the chapters of the book, which is titled The Rule of 72, which basically tells you how long it takes for your money to double. And then everyone will receive a complimentary financial strategy. So if you are interested in having righteous.allah or Anthony Dennis walk you through your financial situation and give you tips on how you can improve your money, they will be more than happy to do that. If you're tuning in tonight and you have not had an opportunity to do so, please hit that share button so this information can go to your family, your friends, and your coworkers, those people who stalk your page on Facebook. Give them something to learn tonight. All right. We're going to continue on with our presentation tonight. If you have any questions, you can feel free to type those in the chat section. I don't know if we'll get to all of them, but maybe our facilitators will have an opportunity at some point to answer just a few questions about how money works. Gentlemen, do you have anything to add before we move on?
No, you can move on.
No, good to go.
All right. So the next money milestone is talking about increasing cash flow. So let's talk about what cash flow is.
I take this one. Well, cash flow is money that you have available to spend and also to save after practicing the previous milestones. Now, the key to cash flow is examining, managing, and reducing expenses. There are 3 practical options to get more cash flow. You can get a gig side hustle, like we'll drive for Uber, DoorDash, or Instacart. We do know in the industry that the gig economy is at an all-time high. The reason being because many people has used the gig economy in order to make up for revenues lost during COVID. You also can start a business part-time. I've seen many people on my timeline, they have start t-shirt companies, mask companies making novelty cups and novelty products. You also can adjust your W-2 allowances to get more on your paycheck and also your refund check. Now, I must lay a disclaimer, we are not tax advisors, so consult with your tax advisor before making these changes because they can give you the best advice.
Right. So can you all tell us, why increasing cash flow is important and how you specifically help clients with increasing theirs?
I'll go here. Well, increasing in cash flow is very important. Well, the reason being is there's a lot that happen in life. We have a lot of things going on. For some reason, a lot of our dreams and goals get kind of stunted, so to speak, because why? The lack of funds. And what we come to realize and learn, it's not really a lack of funds. It's really a lack of understanding how to manage your funds. For instance, I had a client that I've sat with, and the whole reason we got together was she wanted to put together a debt plan and take care of some protection for the family and some other things. But only thing she kept saying to me was, Anthony, for some reason, I made good money, but at the end of the month, I'm always broke. I don't understand why. So we went through a plan. We walked it through. We put together a budget. We examined what was coming in versus what's going out. We found out not only why she should not have been broke, she should have had over $1,000 in extra income, just sitting there. That what you have coming in minus what you have going out, and discretionary. Well, what she found out was she was just managing that money incorrectly, and things add up. The McDonald's, she was a mom, so the McDonald's, the eating out, the buying, the constant shop, the extra shopping, the shoes. We're never gonna talk on shoes for some of the ladies, but the cost of that stuff started adding up, and she went through one of her monthly statements, and she actually found the $1,000. So that's the first thing we do when we talk about going after your cash flow or the types of the cash flow. Is find out where your own personal cash flow is. All right, looking at what you have coming in, finding what minusing what you have going out, and that discretionary is your first cash flow. You use that to go after some of those dreams and goals, getting out of debt, maybe planning for a family vacation. So that's the first way. The second way I like to talk to family is taking on an opportunity to generate another stream of income. All right, another stream of income, and I'm getting a little biblical here. My pastor, my bishop here in Chesapeake, what really gravitated me to him was I heard a sermon he called Theoeconomics. And the whole point behind that was he was talking how Adam had 4 rivers that flowed into the Garden of Eden. And he took that and he was just talking and he transitioned that into we're not meant to live solely on one income. Gotcha. We should have multiple streams of income taking care of our family. And that's why we tell them, hey, find out what you have coming in, going out, but find a way to generate another stream of income to get you and your family to those dreams and goals that you may have put on hold because life.
Gotcha. Good stuff. I know when you all were talking earlier about cash flow, one of the things I was able to pinpoint looking at my statement was the fact that sometimes I eat out a little too much. You get that favorite place that you love to eat and get a taste for something, and something as simple as buying groceries and cooking at home could probably help increase our cash flow in some ways. The next money milestone talks about building wealth, and so can you all give us some keys, just basic keys when it comes to building wealth?
Well, the first key is the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein says the 8th wonder of the world. He said, he who understands it earns it, he who does not pays it. Now, let's say, for example, Mr. Jones going to a bank. Mr. Jones don't have much money in the bank, So the teller looks at it and says, Mr. Jones, we have these credit cards down here that you can actually get with 0% interest, but they don't tell Mr. Jones that the second year, it can be over 20% interest on that particular credit card. Okay, now let's say, for example, you have Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith actually goes inside of a bank and he actually have a high balance. And what the teller does with him, he said, Mr. Smith, we actually have a financial advisor over here that can help you to grow your money. He who understands it earns it, he who does not pays it. We also have the time value of money, meaning putting your money in an investment vehicle and letting time help you to be able to grow your money. The third one is you have the rule of 72. The rule of 72 is the mathematical equation to compound interest. And it goes as such: you take 72 and you divide it by the interest rate, and it tells you the number of years approximately that it takes your money to double. Now, let's say, for example, the average person put their money in a bank. We have the checking accounts and we have the savings accounts. Okay, savings, checking accounts, you only can take out the money that you put in. Now, with savings accounts, you can grow a little bit of your money. Now, we do know that the national average of interest on a savings account is less than 1%, is right around 0.09%. But let's say we're going to be generous. We're going to give you 1%. Now, you take 72 and divide it by 1. That is 72. So that means that if you put $100 in the bank, it takes 72 years in order for it to then grow to $200. Now, let's say, for example, you get a loan from the bank and you get a 9% interest rate. Now, you take 72 divided by 9, that is 8 years. So whereas their money is doubling every 8 years, yours is doubling every 72 years. We also have the 4 threats to every wealth builder that they must conquer. Now, there's a joke that me and Anthony says. He asked me one time, he said, what is the greatest nation in the world? And I said, the US. He said, no, the greatest nation is procrastination, in which people make too many excuses, the reason why they can't do something. And I'm the type of person, I really don't take too fondly of them type of excuses. Why? Because people find time for what they want to find time for, and they find money for what they also want to find money for. The second threat is inflation. Inflation is the cost of living. Let's say, for example, you bought a drink out of the drink machine, let's say 10 years ago. That particular drink might be 50 to 75 cents. Now, if you buy that same particular drink, that particular drink might cost you $1 or $2 in a drink machine. Cost of living is when something costs lower at one particular point in time and actually costs more currently or in the future. You also have losses. Now, between 2000 and 2010, the market lost 50% twice. And also last year, the market lost right around 40%. Now, let's say, for example, you put your money in the market, you lost 50%. It takes 100%. The market do 100% in order to get yourself back to even. Now, here is the problem. You can't use you just missed the opportunity to use the time value of money. Why? Because you spent that time just getting yourself back to even instead of being able to use it in order to grow your money. We also have taxes. People are aware of sales taxes, but we all don't know how much what tax is going to be in the future, or what tax bracket we're going to be in. And when we have our money in certain accounts and then they tax us, that is the time that we actually need the most money. Why? Because we're older and we're retired. So pretty much that is the 4 threats that every wealth builder must conquer.
Okay. And just to add to that, understanding the 4 threats is important, and equally understanding 2 other things that are important too. The first is how your money grows. All right, and it goes 3 ways. 1 is fixed. If you ever get your say, it's like putting your money in your checking and savings. So if you ever look on Google or whatever, you'll see like the line is kind of like going straight. It's not really growing, or if it's growing like a very minimum rate. If you ever look at your savings account, and you may get those little dividends of like 50 cents or 35 cents or 25 cents, that's your savings account growing interest. That's the interest rate that's probably given out to you. You probably won't even notice it. All right. And like I said before, it's generally moving in your checking and your savings account. The good thing about this, when you put your money into it, nothing happens. All right. You don't lose anything. The bad thing about this, when you put your money into it, nothing happens because you don't really gain anything.
Gotcha.
And with like I said, Righteous said the average savings account plus or minus, 0.05%. All right. And depending on your bank, or maybe you're that one that got the great bank, but I mean, it's going to be under 1%. But did you realize the inflation rate is between 2 to 4% a year? A year.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, and I know you guys may not know, but I'm going to say it anyway. Inflation just simply means the value of your dollar goes down. So what costs $1 yesterday may cost now $2. So if your money is growing at a 0.05% and the inflation is between 3 and 4%, you're potentially losing 2 to 3% just where your money's sitting. Just where you keep your money at. It's safe, but you don't earn anything. Now, the other one is variable. Now, variable is the market. What's great about the market? You can make good money. What's terrible about the market? You can lose a lot of money. If you don't believe me, ask people in March of last year when COVID first hit, and let's look back on 2008 when we had that market crash. Right? So you get your highs and your lows. And you generally see these. This is what our retirement accounts are. Your 401ks, your TSP, military, 403b, etc. It's crazy to ask, but I always ask people when I'm still like, how do you feel about losing money? Are you okay with that? And they always look at me like, Anthony, that doesn't make sense. That was a dumb question. Why do you ask that? Well, that's a major part of what we teach families, how not to lose money. Like the word variable itself, it means unstable, unreliable, and unpredictable. Right? So let me ask you, Pastor. We're together here today.
Yes, sir. Would
you buy a vehicle for your family that's unstable, unreliable, and unpredictable?
Not a chance.
You better not. I'm gonna talk to God about that. All right. Yeah, most people rely on their jobs to drive their finances. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the 401k. They're actually great. So I'm not mentioning it to knock it. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand it shouldn't be your sole way of moving. All right. Think about it. If you lose money in an account, one of your retirement accounts, you're actually losing the account value. So I had a person that worked with me some time ago. Her and her husband was about to retire in a year and a half. They had well over $700,000. They was going to buy a boat and cruise the world. What happened? 2008 happened. They lost almost $150,000 how their money was invested.
Wow.
So that year and a half bumped up to 5.5 years. They had to wait another 5.5 years just to get their money back. Everything they lost. Okay?
Wow.
So think about that. Now, the other way is index. Index is designed to protect your money in the gains that you earn, right? It's the best kept secret that's not a secret. All right? The wealthy knows about this, or those who are financially literate knows about it because they've been exposed to it, right? And a lot of people may think when they see or hear about it, it's too good to be true. What I always tell people is, it's not really too good to be true. Your level of understanding how money works today, you're just not ready for it. And that's one of the things we like to teach our clients. You want to, just like I say, it's all about getting them, educating them. Now, in the index, one of the best secrets about this thing is that, as I said, how the money is protected. If the market goes up, you get the gain. If the market drops, your money gets locked in, so you don't lose the account value you would have lost if it was simply in a variable account like the 401k. Okay. Why? In a lot of accounts, you'll see them in some Roth accounts. You'll see it in it's a tax code 7702, like the tax code 401k. A lot of people don't realize the 401k is actually a tax code. A lot of people didn't know that. So it's one called 7702, which is for cash value insurance. The reason they can guarantee you no loss in the index, because they're the only ones who have, the only ones that have, what is called? It's right on top of my head. They have billions invested where the assets, the value of the assets is so great that you can never take a loss. Think about it. All money, everybody invests in insurance one way or another, right? Everyone does it, right? Even your bank invests insurance. You realize that when you first sign an account, they'll tell you your money is protected by the FDIC, which is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Gotcha.
All right. So what does that mean? Your money's protected. So as you're investing your money into the bank, you're saying, hey, here's my 10,000, hold it for me. They're like, well, protect it for you. It's protected up to a certain amount. What they're doing is taking your money and they're invested in these products, in insurance products, because they know that's where it grows and it's protected. So when you come back and take your money out, they're okay with giving it to you because they've already made double.
Wow.
Already made double. So I always ask people, think about it. Would you rather invest in the bank or like the bank? Something to think about. Something to think about. Right? And I think we joke, and I think a lot of people may know about this, but Warren Buffett has a saying when it comes to money. All right. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. All right.
Wow.
For us married men, we kind of think about that at home, where they say rule number 1, the wife is always right. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. All right. So those are 3 ways your money grows. Now, equally important is understanding how your money is taxed. All right. There's also 3 main ways your money is taxed, and I'll go through these quickly. The first way is tax now. All right. So this, again, we're looking at your checking, savings. We have your CDs, your stocks. What is your liquid money? Money you can get to quickly. All right. Uncle Sam says, he's everyone's favorite uncle that we don't want to talk about, right? He says, hey, because I'm giving you access to this money right now, you got to pay your due first. That's your taxes on it. That's your net pay versus your gross pay. Because you get access to that money now, they get their piece up front. All right. The second way your money is taxed is what they call tax later. And those are your retirement, your 401k, 403bs, things of that nature. And when Uncle Sam is saying, hey, I'm going to allow you to invest this money up front, tax-free. But when you retire and you want to take it out to enjoy your best life, I need my piece then. And I tell you, you got to think about it. Look at the tax rate now. Will taxes go up or will taxes go down when we get retirement? We don't have a good history of it going down. That's all I'm saying. I'm not making no judgments. That's all I'm saying. We don't have a good history of it going down. So you got to think about it. Where do you want to put your money at? In the seed or in the harvest? So that's tax later. All right. You get the benefit of investing now, tax free. But when that harvest grows, they want their piece then. Then you have what's called tax advantage, right? This is when you're investing your after-tax dollars. So this is the money after you've gotten paid, and this is your net pay. You're investing your after-tax dollars into an account. More like this kind of, you'll see a lot of these in like index accounts, probably some of the better ones, because your money is protected, right? So those are the 3 ways that your money is taxed. Equally important as understanding the 4 ways your money is need to be considered.
Cool. Very good information. The last milestone that we have to address tonight is protecting your wealth. And can you gentlemen talk to us about protecting wealth and estate planning and maybe what specific documents a person consider? And let me be first, for those who are watching, to let you know that I have sat down and I've gone through some of these things specifically with my brother's life insurance and make sure that we are doing some investment going on. So I'm not just putting this out there, something that I haven't participated in, but estate planning and wealth protection.
There's actually 3 documents that a person should have. Now, let me say this first disclaimer. We don't specialize in this particular field. However, we partner with a law firm that specializes in wealth protection. And we do know that there's 3 documents that a person should have. They should have a will. That is giving your final testament about what you want to happen after your death. A person should have a power of attorney document, because we don't know health-wise what could possibly happen, especially during COVID. You want to have these things in place so that a person that you trust can then make medical decisions for you. You also should have a trust. Trust, you can use that in order to transfer any wealth if anything was to happen to you. Once again, that is not something we specialize in, but we have the resources to be able to help you in this particular area.
Good stuff, gentlemen. You all have taken us through the 7 money milestones. This, of course, is just a brief overview of it. And I know that you all are going to be available for some one-on-one consultation and some private tutoring, if you will, when it comes to financial analysis. As you all heard me say at the beginning and during our brief intermission, that we were going to be giving away 3 complimentary books titled How Money Works. And so here's what I want you to do. I've chosen 3 numbers between 1 and 100. So what I want you to do now is, if you like the opportunity to get this book for free, I believe they're going to mail it to you. I want you to type any number from 1 to 100 in the chat section. And I know I'm delayed a little bit from seeing you all, so I'm going to give you a minute or so. If you'll type any number in the chat section from 1 to 100, this is an easy, simple to understand book. Any number, if you'll type it in the chat section, 1 to 100. Okay, I got one number that was 39, 55. I need to give me some more numbers. All right. Oh, y'all bring those numbers in now. I have 39, 55, 74, 72, 32. Uh-oh. Let me see. One of you has one of the numbers right on the dot. Isn't that amazing? Okay. And all right. So if those are all the numbers, okay, the numbers I chose were 24, 38, and 72. Sister Belinda, you hit it 72 right on the head. So you get a complimentary book. My cousin Gabriel Wiggins, another number I chose was 38. You got 39. So you get a book. And then the other number was 24. Closest to that was Sister McLean. So if you will inbox your address to, do y'all want it to the church's page, or you want them to inbox you, or how do you want to do that?
It's up to them.
Okay.
Yeah, they can inbox me, they can inbox you, whoever they feel comfortable with.
Yeah, okay. Just so we can make it simple, give them direction. Just have them inbox you, and then you communicate to us who they are. We get the information out to them.
All right, sounds good. So, Sister McLean, Minister Gabriel Wiggins, Sister Belinda, if you all will inbox me directly with your address, they're going to mail these 3 books to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in and participating. I'm going to turn it into our facilitators, because they're going to go over some more complimentary things that they're going to give to our participants tonight.
Okay, anybody that would like a PDF copy of the chapter of the How Money Works book on the Rule of 72, what I want you to do is to type 72 in the chat. Type 72 in the chat. That will allow us to know to reach out to you in order to get you that PDF copy. Now, anybody that would like to have a complimentary financial needs analysis or financial strategy, or the financial strategy done, just type me inside of the chat, and then that will allow us to know to reach out to you in order to be able to schedule that financial strategy. So,
Righteous, if you don't mind, let me jump in real quick. Instead of saying me, type in the chat box FNA.
Okay.
Type in the chat FNA, which stands for financial needs analysis. That way we know specifically what you're looking for.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. And I appreciate you, Pastor Michael, in allowing us to come on to explain the 7 money milestones. If anybody needs to reach out to me, they can reach out to me here on Facebook. Just hit me in the messenger, and I'll reach back out to you. My email address is righteous, righteous.allah, ALLAH, at wealthwave.com, WEALTHWAVE.com. You can also call me if you want to. I don't mind. The only thing I do ask is text me to let me know because sometimes I don't answer weird phone numbers because of these robocalls. 757-553-4663. 757-553-4663. And once again, Pastor Michael, thank you for allowing us to come on.
Yeah, to add to that, you guys can reach out to me via Facebook as well, Anthony Dennis. I will definitely get back to you. You can reach me out by email. My email, matter of fact, let's just skip the email. Just go reach out to me on Facebook, or you give me a call directly, 757-450-1453. Look, Righteous is right. The robocalls are out of control. So what I ask is, if you don't text me, at least leave me a voicemail, and I will get back to you as soon as possible, which will generally be by the end of that day, within an hour or so. So at least leave me a voicemail. And I also say, guys, don't take this complimentary financial analysis lightly. All right, it's complimentary, so you lose nothing by sitting down and make sure that the plan you have in place for your family, you're going in the right direction. Maybe you realize that you're all the way at milestone number 1, and you need a book, and you need to understand how to get your family to point A, point B. Maybe you're already debt free, and you got through the debt management portion. You want to know how you go to start building and protecting wealth. Maybe you all the way through, you need some help with just number 7. It doesn't hurt to find out, and just make sure you're going the right way. The information, I hate to use the word, but the information is free. Use it. All right, we have too many people that get this opportunity, they don't take advantage of it, and they wonder why they stay broke. One thing one of the mentors already told me is, normal is broke. Right? Normal is broke. So let's not be normal, right? Let's not be normal, and let's do what, let's say, the unnormal people, I don't even know if that's a word. Let's do what the others do, all right? Let's do what the others do, all right? We got to be smarter with our money. It is our duty, and it's our job to transfer over to the next generation. The next generation should not be starting off financially hurting or financially starved because we failed to prepare for them. Okay, so please take advantage of this opportunity. Let us help you. It will be our great pleasure. Trust me, I'm a weird guy, and I really get a high of putting together budgets. Righteous laughs at me, but I love putting together a budget because I understand the power it has, or money savings plan. But I understand the power of understanding the current of your currency. It has changed me and my family's life, and it'll be my great pleasure to show you and help you change you and your families. So I hope to talk to you soon.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, gentlemen, so much again for taking out your time to educate us tonight. Thank you for those who are tuning in on the church's Facebook page or wherever you may be streaming from, private or personal pages. Again, as they have stated, these two things are complementary. They cost you nothing. If you would like that free chapter titled The Rule of 72, just type 72 in the chat section. If you would like that free financial need analysis, make sure you type in FNA, and they will do their best to get back in contact with you. I've gone through some of this with them, and so I know they'll take good care of you. Everything will be dealt confidentially, and you'll get the information that you need. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and go forth. God bless. We'll see you soon.
All right.